The first thing I do when I am making soap is to measure out my oils and lard. So I have my scale and this pot, because frankly it's the right size to fit the batch that I want to make. To go ahead and measure out all of the other ingredients that I'm going to be adding at the end. So we put raw honey in our soap. It's really good for your skin and it helps the lather. So the particular raw honey that we use comes from our friends at Bee Kings. Now, you don't have to put a whole lot of honey in your soap to get good results. And so I've actually had this jar for a while. Finally just used it up. But honey, sometimes when it sits for a long time, it gets kind of crystallized. Where it's like thick and hard to pour. So I'm gonna just pop it in the microwave for about 5 seconds and it'll make it liquidy again. So I also already have my infused oil. I try to use natural products to infuse with, so flowers, clays, different things like that. So this is gonna be a eucalyptus soap, so I'm making it green, which I know it doesn't really look green in there, but it'll look green. And the reason that I don't have that mixed in yet is because I don't want the soap bars to be solid green. I want to kind of swirl it. So I'm going to do that at the very end. Go ahead and measure out my oil. I like to measure out my lye into a glass jar because it's easier to sprinkle it over the frozen milk. Next, I'm going to mix up my oils and lard. So my immersion blender is broken and the whole pipe turns, so I actually have to hold it with my finger. That's why I'm holding it funny. so that I can easily pour it in when it is time. Get that out of the way. And now I'm going to move my trays over so that they're ready, and I will actually use this to scoop into the trays when it is time. So now I'm to the point where I'm ready to pour my lye over my ice. When you're pouring the lye over the frozen goat milk, oops, it gets hot, and if it heats too hot too quickly, it will actually burn the milk. So one of the things that I do to keep it cool is to put ice down in the sink. To set the bowl on top of. So my ice maker is also broken, so I'm scrounging up what ice the kids have not stolen. Not stolen. What they haven't used out of my lye trays. So I'm just going to make a little bed of ice here. Keep everything cold. Alright, now this part you have to do pretty slowly because you don't want to burn the milk. Just going to sprinkle a little bit. Stir it around a bit. Okay, now it is time to mix it into the foils. This part can sometimes be a little difficult to do with one person. Once that is mixed in well, now I'm going to put in whatever essential oil I'm using. Okay, now I'm going to dump the honey in, and I save that for the last thing before color because the sugars and the honey breaking down with the lye can cause it to heat, and it will make the soap not set right in the middle. So I do this, I pour them, and then I immediately go put them in the freezer to cool them down. Alright, now I like my color to give it kind of a swirl look, so I'm not going to mix it totally. right here. Now I like to leave it where it's a little bit, the color isn't mixed just perfectly because I like that swirl look. All right, now I'm just gonna pour it into my trays. I actually made yesterday, and I'm working on popping it out of the molds in order to cut it and let it cure. And so I can use the trays again to make more soap. So these are just silicone soap mold trays. I'll just kind of peel it off. And then we're left with this big bar of soap, and I will show you how we cut that in a minute. So now I'm getting ready to cut my soap. So I use this guide, and it actually in here has measurements so that you can measure how big you want your soap, how wide you want it. As I cut them, I put them on this tray, and then I carry them all into my curing spot, a shelf in the office, really. So there's these little grooves that you can fit your cutter into. And just like that. And that is how we make our soap. Thanks for watching. Happy homesteading.